This is an instructional video on how to make AMS board cables. Starting off, we have all the required materials. We have the clamps to be crimped. You're going to need 12 of those. We have the wire itself, should be about 2 inches long. Then we have the ends of the cables, the black ends. Then we have the final clamps. And the tools that you'll need will be this wire stripper, or any small wire stripper that can strip 26 gauge wire. And you'll need this crimper, which most likely you will acquire from Professor Nadovich. So before we get into making it, let's take a look at the finished product. You can see it's flipped on each end. Alright, the first step for making this cable would be to get your length of cable here. You can see this end is already torn apart, so you want to do that to the other end. Make it so we can strip these. It's good to have nails for this. Alright, we're almost done here. Alright, so that's all torn apart. So the next step would be to actually strip each wire. We'll just do one to show you. So you're going to want to strip about 3 to 4 millimeters off each. So I want to separate one of the wires. Do it right about there, if you see that. And we strip it. And you can see there, that should be about the length of the conductor that's sticking out. Alright, the next step is acquiring the crimper. And you will need this clamp on the end, which we will be crimping. So we have our stripped wire here. We want this wire to be aligned with the clamp right about there. You can see that. And that's where we will be crimping it. So, to use this tool, first thing you want to do is make sure this is aligned with the open face pointing away from you. We're going to want to push this up and slide this right on in there. Let the clamp down, just like that. Next step, push the crimper in until you hear one click, just like that. And next you want to pull all these cables back so you don't accidentally crimp those. I'm going to take this, push it into here until the insulation is right where I showed you earlier. It can be a little finicky. Once it's where we want it to be, crimp it, pull up the clamp, and that is a crimped end right there. And just a quick note, these are going to be flipped, so all of these will be aligned on this side the same, and the other side will be flipped over. Alright, we're almost done here. Next step, we have our crimped ends here. Next we want to put them into this black end of the cable. So, if you can see the small holes there all the way to the right, we want to make it so this end jutting out is in that little hole. So we will slide that in. Be a little tough. And you'll hear a little, very faint click, and you know that's incorrectly, so you want to do that for every single one of these. And once that's done, we're ready for the final step. Alright, so the final step, once you have both ends just like this, obviously flipped. We want to take this white clasp here, slip it in like this, just like that, pop it, and that is a completed end. So you want to do that for both. Make sure they are flipped, and once that's done, we have our finished product here, just like this.